Halloween Horror 2024. This is Amnesia, a machine for pigs. I am DHG. If you like my content, do subscribe. I need more subscribers. I don't have a problem with views or watch time. I'd like to make this channel profitable. Did I say channel? Channel. You have to excuse me, I'm having a hard time thinking straight. My shoulder hurts so bad. And this episode should be starting off in the church to a very important scene within the game. I played through this once before, like 10 years ago. Don't remember all that much about it except for some of the more important parts. Oh, okay, so he wants to create a new idol, a new god. Heresy. As if any other time that man tried to create a god has never resulted in complete and total disaster. I can't help but think about the analog to our modern times with AI, which I view as something that could be used for a lot of good, just like nuclear energy, or something that could be used for a lot of bad, like nuclear bombs. No different from AI, and you got some people out there that are very open to worshiping it. Oh, there's a word for those people. It escapes me at the moment. Oh. Largely transhumanists. But that implies something else entirely also. I'd really like to know where they're at, because Biblia? See, first time I played through this game, and I've been trying to ascertain this playthrough thus far. Where in the hell are we? For a while I thought we were in a Germanic land because of stuff like that crest like there kind of resembles the Imperial Eagle. And there was I think a poem I came across earlier that was written in German. First time I played through it, I was under the impression this took place in England, but I really don't have a clue. They were just talking about Blavatsky in the previous episode, but this certainly is not Russia.
Your faith shackles your vision, Professor. It is an iron coffin that keeps you from grasping the future. We require a new deity, one of steam and the wheel, of magnetism and progress. The old god is nothing more than a lamed hog, spitting back offal at mankind.
Oh boy. Who's playing the organ? Well, the food that Mandus distributes, that's his company. Need to point that out for the storyline here. When they say he, my impression is that he's talking about himself. Yes, he is definitely talking about himself, given that second paragraph. London, okay, so that's where we're at. I thought it was in England. Was it in the last... Yeah, was it the end of the last episode I talked about a bunch of the old pagan traditions, pagan gods that, after Christianity came about, infiltrated it, started to subvert it, pervert it. And you see a lot of this hatred for Christianity today, not because of what Christianity preaches, but because a lot of these cults have infiltrated it, and they've subverted its message and perverted it. What you see here is not much different. He's talking about the worship of a new god, but yet he has all this Christian symbolism around, like a... I'm still not sure what language that's written in right there, but then the crucifix. And once I'm done exploring here, you'll see the new god. And I am done exploring. Let's go on. They needed a new god for humanity, one that represented progress in the new century because the old one was lame, they said. The pigs. And all the people came here to worship it, and worship this new false idol. You'll see later on in the game that there's a much deeper meaning for this. And it gets into some of the themes that the game's already explored with his extreme hatred for humanity and his misanthropic ideologies overall. The fact that he mentioned Blavatsky in one of the writings in the previous video is not surprising to me whatsoever. Okay, I got a little lost at this part here, until I came across this. Apparently I'm looking for a missing candlestick. I failed to see that when it popped up. I was too stoked up by all this sacrilegious imagery. Yeah, see, the candlestick goes there. I was too distracted by this crap in this room, which probably plays a part soon here. They don't have items like that in games like this that serve no purpose. But then I noticed some more sacrilegious imagery. The pig, as if breastfeeding to the child. The pig gives the kid life, gives life in general. That plays into the main story later on here. Once you find out what the pigs are. But we're not there yet. Find that candlestick. Probably walk right. Heard something over there. Walked right by it, didn't even notice it. Some people might think, why London? Why did they choose to make this game in London? Well, at the time, 1899, still pretty much the seat of global control. I would argue it still is today. And these zones of global control have always been hubs for all sorts of occult shit. Bad things, whether it be London or before it, for a while, the Netherlands. Before it, Venice. Before that, Rome. Back to Babylon. Persia. Can I just rip one of these off? It might be in that storeroom that I saw off to the left. I mean, for the Londoners, doesn't it strike... There it is. Doesn't it strike you as odd that you have, like, this autonomous zone, a square mile in the middle of your city that's pretty much its own governance? The city of London, where the old East Empire Company was. I mean, I know the big thing is blaming America for everything now, but what do you think the American Empire is an expansion of? I mean, by the writings of the own words of the British imperialists, they wanted to return America to its rightful role within the British Empire, and that's currently where America's at right now. If people like myself and other nationalists don't restore everything to how it should be, then it's probably going to continue until it gets destroyed. They wanted to put this text in here as the story unfolded, kind of like what Alan Wake did, but they throw this up at the time. When I say Alan Wake, I mean the first one. I haven't played the second one, and I'm not going to buy it because of their whole race-swapping woke shit. But these things would be better if they just kind of popped up as you were playing. They both disrupt gameplay a little bit, but if this would pop up, like, it just popped up, you didn't have any choice, and then you could exit it just by pressing B or something or whatever on your keyboard. I think that would have been a better way to do this. More dead rats.
Listen, Papa. Hold the egg to your ear. You can hear the sea.
Just kind of thinking of something else that this main story goes into within some of the old occult stuff, but I'm gonna keep that to myself for now. Once the story gets a little deeper, I'll mention it, if I remember.
Talar, me elster olste antarak, for era sta oro kantirak, forosto, vendir maustirakan, olisteliam, forokoros, forakara,
Sounds Italian. Or dead rats. What's the point of interacting with that? You can't do anything with it. Yep, these are all cages for people. So that medical procedures can be done upon them against their will. This is Darwinism. Eugenics was setting itself up to be the prominent theory and school of thought for the 20th century until it got derailed by World War II and people saw it for what it was. Pure evil. Well, given that we're living in 2024 right now, it is making a comeback. As Julian Huxley said, we will make the unthinkable thinkable again. Sounds like it's right there. Oh, there it is. Alright, it's on the other side. As we find, there's a lot of similarities going into the upcoming years that parallel exactly with the run-up to World War II. With the false dichotomy between the extreme left and the extreme right. The extreme left representing the woke Marxists now as they were the Bolsheviks back then. And with the extreme right being, at that time, the Nazis. Which both groups, mind you, were funded by the same people. Like I said, the centers of global control, the City of London, the bankers, Wall Street, all the most influential families in the world, like the black nobility of Europe, the American oligarchs like the Rockefellers, all funded these entities to create a false dichotomy between their created far left and their created far right. And then throughout the chaos that ensued in World War II, between that false dialectic, you had their solution, which was supposed to be the eugenics-based world order, the rules-based world order, which kind of made its way into existence with NATO, things like that. That is the Hegelian dialectic. They create both problems, problem, solution, reaction, and then they propose a solution that's gonna trump either the right or the left, and it's the only way you gotta take it. It'll be for your safety. None of it is happening organically. We're being set up again. They tried this shit 100 years ago. It failed. I have faith that it will fail again, but a lot of people gotta realize what they're doing. I mean, they haven't even really changed the playbook all that much from what they did last time. Set up the far left, set up the far right, and then eventually some catalyst is going to come along where they present you with a third option, which is, like I said, the Hegelian dialectic. And it's this third option that is what's going to wipe all of your rights away completely. What the third option is yet, I don't know, but the World Economic Forum and think tanks like that, Bilderberger Group, Club of Rome, they like to let you know ahead of time. They're quite boastful. Why am I talking about that playing this game? Because it's all relevant, all within the same context. There's another one of these funky looking old automobiles. Wonder how fast they went. Probably the speed of smell.
Water in his shoes.
Imagine getting hit by one of them. You sprained my ankle.
It's too bony. It's too damn bony.
They look like they weigh a bit, though. Biblical references are very appropriate. For he does, like I said, the game's called Amnesia. He does not know the full story of what has transpired. Neither does the player, but you can kind of take a guess. Especially if you played the first game.
These men, Professor, these so-called men of vision, they would shackle the masses to a wheel and turn it till their backs break. All for that opiate, the lure of profit. These fools who lackey them, these priests, these officials, this government, they make pigs of us all.
But what solution, my dear man? How to break a cycle? You cannot simply remove the promise of a better world for these unfortunates. In the workhouses, in the orphanages, the belief in heaven is surely the only succor one can find.
We do not need to wait. We can bring forth paradise now. We can speed the passion. With only a small sacrifice, we can hold the apocalypse. With just a small sacrifice, we can free our shackles and deliver them to paradise now.
That sounds fairly Marxist, but also sort of Gnostic. I mean, you could remedy the problem that he just spoke of with, which is a very real problem that's still prevalent today. With the Constitution, make sure it's being followed, which is a constant battle between the people and the representatives. Workers' unions that actually work for the workers, not themselves or a political party. These are all things that have worked in the past. They can work again. But a constitution is no good if it is not followed, or are trade unions if they become corrupt and just political donation campaign parties. say trade unions, workers' unions. And the politicians that represent the people, nominally, come to represent private interests. Every now and then, throughout the course of history, you will get to a point like where the founders of the United States of America writ the Declaration of Independence, where they listed their grievances and had no alternative but war, because that was what was forced upon them. And I have absolutely no doubt that the British tabloids at that time labeled that the American patriots terrorists, or whatever the word was for it back in those days. Actually, revisiting this game after 10 years, I didn't expect such heavy political themes in it. Political and religious themes. I knew the religious ones were there, but... Oh, I didn't think that would be open. What say you? The process of stunning and bleeding. They're talking about using what seems to be bile as fuel. And yes, the implication is right there that in this factory, humans are being used as biofuel. Self-regulatory automation. Played too much Helldivers recently. Every time I see a word like that, I think automaton. I won't be playing that game again until that community manager is gone. If she's never gone, then bye-bye Helldivers. It's so heavy. Like Zoolander. He goes to pick up that lump of coal in the mine. It's like this tiny lump and he acts like it's breaking his back. That may or may not have been coal. It may have been processed humans. Biofuel. Wasn't there one back here that I couldn't open? Oh wait, no, there we go, yeah. This one just didn't have any coal below it, or whatever that fuel source is. That one's on. It's so dark in this area. Give me that big old hunk of whatever it is. Alright, number 2. What do you do? That's my business. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to use a little boy's room. Austin Powers. Oomph. That one's burning. Pull down here. I don't know if one will do it. I thought there was another one back here. Wait, what is that? Oh, it's just a bag. One will have to do it. I ain't got no mo. Zex. Not enough coal? Isa. Where can I find more? Give me coal. Ah, there we are. So dark. I already said that, but you see, the problem with this game is, yeah, it's dark, obviously. But if you turn up the gamma, everything just looks horribly washed out, and usually games like this have some sort of an indicator where it adjusts the gamma so that you can see the right box clearly, but not the left box, that sort of thing. This one, I had to turn the gamma the whole way up just to be able to see the left box, couldn't see the right, and the game will look washed out, terribly washed out. So fire and steel. No tinkering with those things. I thought I was going to have to. Open up, you. Oh yeah, there was another one back here. Are your furnaces fueled? Are they? You want to double check? They really make industry look sinister. Although anything can be used for sinister ends. Really reminds me of Silent Hill. The noise, the visuals. Shit. I don't think Squealer's too happy. The one that got away obviously does not approve of what this machinery is designed to do. You'll figure out why in the future videos. Exactly what that pig is. Thank God I'm playing this at night, or I would not be able to see with that sunlight shining in. Kinda hard to find my way in the dark, though. Barely see it. Man, bear, pig. Or is it? Oh, it's right there. Back here? Shit. How do we get out of this area? Here we go. The descent continues. Is it a dark descent? The body is remarkably preserved. Alright, I think I'll just try to read it. This one doesn't look like it has any strange words in it. The crate arrived this morning, and I had it delivered directly to the workshop. The body is remarkably preserved, although there is a subtle yet nauseating stench of damp and rot. It is humanoid in shape, but has suffered severe skeletal deformity. Remnants of leather scraps encase the torso, which is deformed, with evidence of substantial muscle mass and displacement. It is difficult to ascertain whether this unfortunate is the recipient of some barbarous surgery, or was born deformed in an attempt to force his gnarled body into some semblance of humanity was made. What he is I cannot tell, but I smell the orb upon him. I think the orb is making reference to the first game. I suspect my great-uncle's presence in his curious condition. He might be related to the guy from the first game. So it can be done. We can reshape the body into a tool, accelerate the process of Mr. Darwin's evolution. Yep, there we go. Evolution again. But here my great-uncle and I part company. He chose men as the subjects of his experiments, but men are difficult to control and rotten with sentimentality. No, we require a new tool for our chattels. Loyal, clever, strong, easily sated. Danger, no naked flames. Let me in. You fucking wankers. Where does this take me? Do I want to know? Are all these doors shut? I'm kind of out of places to go. Unless I can get back up here. I can, but is it going to take me anywhere? Gotta be something here I missed. Nothing in the journal. Thought maybe there's somewhere to go under there. Oh. Can't use it. Oh, shit. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere.